Video quality in dashcams has improved considerably in the past 5 years. We've leaped from sub-HD to 2K and then 4K cameras with an increasing number of units available in 2 and 3 channel configurations. Vantrue has been one of the pack leaders in this regard, offering its kits with multiple camera options to suit all budgets. We reviewed the award-winning Vantrue E2 earlier in 2023, which lived up to its billing. This brings us to the Vantrue Nexus 4 Pro, which is right here, the latest in a series of cylindrical dashcams with both front and interior cameras mounted on it. I'm Christian Cawley, you're watching Make Use Of Reviews, and this is a 4K dashcam from Vantrue. Now, I've had a good experience with Vantrue dashcams in the past, so I'm expecting good things from the Nexus Pro 4. Measuring 4.56 by 3.34 inches, the dashcam attaches to the windshield with a GPS mount. There is a secondary optional camera that attaches to the rear of your vehicle, measuring 2.44 by 0.59 inches. The front unit has 2 cameras. There's the 4K road-facing camera with its Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 8-megapixel CMOS sensor with a 155-degree lens, and an interior cam with 1080p resolution and 160-degree coverage. The rear camera has 1080p and a 165-degree wide lens. Together, the cameras can record at a maximum 3840 plus 1080 plus 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second. The 3.19-inch IPS display is tiny and pretty useless when driving, but it contributes to the size of the main unit. This is equipped with a row of 4 buttons, but these offer limited access to the camera and its settings. Instead, you'll need to pair the camera to the latest Vantrue mobile app. This delivers full control over how the camera works, as well as letting you oversee video transfer so that you can save footage to your mobile device. Shipping alongside the rear camera, GPS mount and necessary cables, the Vantrue Nexus 4 Pro has a few optional extras, such as a CPL filter to cancel out reflective glare from your windshield, and a remote for taking photos or saving the last few seconds of footage. Like most current dashcams, the manufacturers don't include adhesive hooks for cable management, although there is a plastic crowbar for hiding the cables, an anti-dust cloth, static sheets for clean mounting, 3M adhesive strips, and a user guide. Setting up this dashcam means mounting the front and rear units, then connecting them with a data cable. Vantrue provide an incredible 6-meter USB Type-C cable in this kit, which I think is the longest I've ever seen. Longer than even my own car, this cable is clearly suited for larger vehicles like vans and can also accommodate complicated routing setups. In my case, I ran the cable through the passenger side of the car. Now, while mounting the rear cam is straightforward, the front unit, in this case, had some issues with adhesion. This proved to be a big problem, ultimately resulting in 3 mounting attempts. So I've repositioned the dash cam after the first disaster, and it is now under the mirror in the optimum position for a dash cam of this size. And we've got the anti-static sheet, which is just here, and we've got the main mount here, and I'm going to attach the dash cam now. The base is already attached to the mains. This connects to the rear camera, so I'm going to plug that in. Now we should, at this stage, be ready. However, as you can see here, the adhesion is terrible. That's disastrous. Imagine that in a driving scenario, in an accident or whatever. This is a fail. Now, further investigation revealed a small line of blue adhesive below the 3M strip on the GPS mount. This had the effect of creating a barely discernible bump in the 3M strip, which resulted in a small sort of seesaw effect, preventing uniform adhesion for the mount. Now, I eventually overcame this with some masking tape and patience, waiting for the adhesive to sort of dry. However, this entire problem could have been avoided with better quality control. I don't understand why this blue adhesive was even there in the first place. Unfortunately, the problems didn't end there. While the Nexus 4 Pro features a clever magnetic cover over the reset button and microSD card slot, this snapped away from the magnet on first use. The Vantrue Nexus 4 Pro here ships, I'm happy to say, with an SD card, a micro SD card, 64GB capacity, and it has a very cool entry point, which unfortunately is broken on this device. As you can see, here's a nice button there for resetting the device, but it falls off. I attempted to open it. There's a little notch at one side of the ring, just there, as you can see, and it's supposed to be connected to this magnetic ring, so you know, it just clips in and out. You can see where the glue's dried. Now I'm in the UK, it's not particularly hot. It seems like the glue's either melted or it's just snapped off or whatever in transit. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to effect some sort of repair myself, but in any case, the Vantrue card slots into there, and there you have your storage. Unfortunately, there's no eMMC storage with this dash cam, which is my preference going forward these days, but 64GB should be enough for some looping and for keeping all those bad moments stored for review later on. Ultimately, these issues made this one perhaps the most difficult dashcam installation process I've ever been through. So driving around with this dashcam is a little jarring if you're used to a smaller cam. Its comparative size, even on a large windshield, is concerning, and while the advice is to mount it close to the rear view mirror, on a smaller car it is likely to take up quite a bit of space. The IPS display plays a big part in this. To be honest, I see little point in a display on a dashcam when a mobile app is so important to using the device. And while the N4 follows the design cues of earlier models, we reviewed the N2 way back in 2017, it could be much smaller. With the mobile app synced, you can adjust all the necessary settings: rotation, time-lapse modes, loop timings, all the usual stuff. Video and GPS data can be transferred either over USB or by removing the SD card and inserting that into your PC. Now, a note on this USB option: the dashcam tends to restart itself about every 5 minutes when connected to a PC, and this is something that can cause obvious problems to the data on the SD card while it is being accessed. Now, once installed into your car successfully, the Vantrue N4 does the job. The 4K footage is amazing, but you might find yourself wishing for something a bit smaller. As you might have guessed by this point, I've been disappointed by this dashcam. Some of its issues are situational, while others might have a different experience with mounting, and perhaps I was just unlucky with the side falling off. Disconnections when hooking the camera up over USB are clearly concerning when it comes to reliability. I've had far too many SD cards ruined by dashcams over the years. The clear benefit of 4K footage aside, this is a large, lumbering camera that could quite reasonably be half the size. In that scenario, it might be easier to install and certainly be less obtrusive. And with such smart and compact options available, even from the same manufacturer, you would really need to love Vantrue products to opt for this dashcam. And as it is, unless you're desperate for a 4K camera from Vantrue, consider other units.